ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Welcome into the facility. It is another beautiful Wednesday, midweek show. It's Wednesday. Hey, appreciate y'all watching. Y'all could be watching any show. You're hanging out with us. We don't take it for
You know what I mean? Yes, but sometimes you just look good, you feel good. Like, feel good, you know what I mean? Don't hate on me today. Show.
Hey, that is what Sean Shady was scoring. What up, James?
You know, was this Trace's idea or was it your idea to put your brothers in long sleeves?
Long sleeves.
I already told you.
It's cold. It's cold up here.
Letting go on the outside, on the inside joke. Everybody thinks it is too cold up here. Yesterday, they literally vetoed. They objected the entirety of the show and said, Emmanuel, we will not work with you today unless we can wear jackets.
It's because you're Nigerian.
It is. I got the Nigerian blood.
You're in short sleeve. You know, brothers be cold.
Showing the chest
on
here.
On the far end, that's James Jones, Super Bowl champ, Green Bay Packers. To his right, the quarterback, the one and only Chase Daniel. To my right, a man who needs no introduction.
Hey, wait.
Sean Shady.
Can you ever say Aaron Rodgers' bestie? That's Aaron Rodgers' bestie, number 89.
That's friend.
Why you want to? It's all good. It's cool with Super Bowl champion.
I'm saying and.
But I mean, bestie's a little fun now.
We had fun on the show.
Relax. Hey, we got a special guest joining us today. You'll see Rachel Nichols here momentarily.
Go to the building.
It is going up in the Knicks Pacers series, people. A game to remember, especially for Tyrese Haliburton. Dude had 15 dimes, no turnovers, 30 points. Pacers, they got the dub. They left the New York Knicks absolutely rejected and dejected. Here's Karl Anthony Towns after the loss.
We've been a team that has kind of found a way to do the impossible when it always seemed impossible. You know, we just keep fighting. So it's going to be a testament to our whole playoff run. You know, now we have to be in one of the biggest fights of our lives and of our season, and that starts with next game.
And joining us now, the woman with the blanket.
I brought it.
I had it yesterday.
I'm not proud.
I feel you. No,
I'm
you
not
should be proud.
In this studio, and look, by the way, it's an electric blanket. Because you're a crazy man, and it is absolutely like freezer.
Don't let him have your nose.
I had that on yesterday.
I officially work with the most dramatic people.
Hey, you just want my blanket.
In all of television.
By the way, you see that? You see that Shady was like, hey, Rachel, he just wants the blanket. That's all he wants. Let's be real.
Okay, well, look, what I want from you, Rachel, is nothing but what you bring every day, which is absolute intelligence. Been covering the NBA for the last several decades. One of the most brilliant minds in all of the sport. I know you were at the Knicks-Pacers game 1. Yep. We're now 3 games later. Shady, I'll start with you, though. Hey, what's the biggest reason that the Knicks are down 3-1 to a Pacers team that you thought was severely less talented?
Yeah, they are, but that don't matter. I think that they are better coached, the Pacers. Yeah. And I think that they want it more. And it's small things like talent. You don't need talent to have effort. There's the small things you're watching. Like I'm watching how every loose ball, every 50 ball, they're getting. Right? You talk about adding the pressure on a fast tempo, rebounds, kicking it out, getting it going, a fast break. Stay on that. Yep. And it's like, Timber was in the huddle saying, hey, God, let's go, get back. Hustle, sprint. When a coach got to tell you to sprint, it is over. When a coach got to tell you to sprint in a competitive sport, you know it's a wrap. And when you watch this game, now, I would say that the Knicks is probably more a talented team. That don't matter. Because I see guys on the bench for the Pacers coming in there outdoing the starters for the Knicks. and you talking about why they losing, that's why. We could talk about the Brunson fouls and this and that. The real issue is they're getting out coached, and then the team is playing with way more effort and heart. Yeah. One team looks like they want to go to the finals. The other team is just kind of trying to survive, and that's the Knicks surviving.
I like what Shady's saying. I think at the end of the day, we got to be honest about it. The Pacers are just better.
There it is.
The Pacers are just better. I remember this quote, Rachel, playing ball. My coach would tell me, fatigue makes a coward of us all.
Yeah, sure.
Fatigue makes a coward of us all. I don't reject the Knicks players as if they're not intending to try. It's hard to try when you play in 40 minutes a game. It's just hard, and they play in 32 minutes a game. It's hard to try when you're tasked with not just playing 40 minutes a game in this imminent game, but throughout the course of the NBA playoffs, you've had to play 40 minutes a game. Meanwhile, the Pacers are playing 32, 33 minutes a game with their primary starters. I don't think the Knicks don't want to try. I don't think the Knicks don't want to lend effort. I don't think the Knicks don't want it just as bad as the Pacers do. I just think the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. And at the end of the day, the Knicks' flesh is breaking down. So the Pacers are just better. The Pacers' best player, Tyrese Haliburton, is playing better than the Knicks' best player in Jalen Brunson. The Pacers coach is out coaching the Knicks coach. I think the Pacers are playing with more pace. I think the Pacers are playing with a deeper roster, and I think the Pacers are illuminating the voids that the Knicks have. The Knicks don't necessarily have the depth. The Knicks thus don't have the pace. The Knicks coaching is lacking, and ultimately the Pacers are a very, very, very good team because they're in Indiana. They haven't gotten the national recognition they probably should have gotten throughout the duration of the year, and that starts with the head of the snake with Tyrese Haliburton. We'll talk more about him later.
Look, the Knicks don't have an elite defense. It is rare for a team to win an NBA title if they are not in the top 10 defensively during the regular season. That's just historically the way it's been. They were number 13 out of 30 teams this season. They're number 8 out of 16 teams in the playoffs. That is the definition of middling, right? They're not terrible, but they're not an elite defense. And you are now allowing a player in Tyrese Haliburton who knows how to feast, gentlemen, on non-elite defenses, look exceptional. And Tyrese is just this, I call him a tornado of fun out on the basketball court, right? He is a shot-making, trash-talking machine. And you put him up against players who are not at his level and can't defend a guy like that, he is going to do what he has done throughout this playoffs and throughout this series. Now, I do want to say, though, the Knicks are still an exceptionally good team this playoffs. We are in the Final Four, gentlemen. Yeah. So I don't believe any of these guys are trash. I just think that when you are at the point of the rubber meeting the road to get to the NBA Finals, you got to be elite. Yeah. And they are not elite on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, for me, it's very simple, and it's what Acho said. It's the Pacers. Yeah. I think we have to give the Pacers some credit here. And not only this is the Pacers, it's the Pacers, and it's the Pacers' physicality. The Pacers, man, when you watch the game, they don't even really have too much respect for the Knicks. At least that's how they playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they playing with the mindset of, we don't care who y'all are. We don't care what seed we are. We finna pick you up from half court. We don't care if we push you on the ground. We finna get up, and we finna hold you and all that. Did you see Brunson? He kept on asking for, like, fouls on just the inbound. Like, they getting up in you defensively, and they making it really, really hard on you. And then not only that, the way they move the ball offensively, man. Tyrese Haliburton, obviously the head of the snake, but the way they move the basketball, the way he's making everybody around them better. The Pacers is just a much better team right now. At least they're showing it, and they're showing that they're way more physical. And the main reason why I know that, you gave up 50-plus points in the paint, man. Yeah. In the paint. You're supposed to be talented down there. You guys got some big boys down there, too. You gave up 50-plus points in the paint against the Indiana Pacers team, man. You're getting out physical. The Pacers are a really good basketball team, and we got to give them some credit, man, and especially Haliburton, because he showed out.
And even like the small little things where I think about, like, okay, we're like you just said, we're in the Final Four. We're the best of the best, right? And potentially go to the finals, right? Like, that's the Super Bowl, the finals. Yeah. And when I'm watching the game, I'm like, okay, so earlier in the game, it was kind of close. And then they started this turnovers thing. Now it's like turnover after turnover after turnover. I'm like, yo, like, where is the leadership? Where is, like, the mental part of, like, you know what? We are trying to go to the finals, right? And now we're already playing a really, really good team, offensively and defensively. We can't give up turnovers because now they're scoring this with easy points, though, instead of making them earn it. Yeah. You know, like, small things like that. And then another thing's like the fouls. I'm watching Anthony Towns, and it's like, I can see why they traded him. I can see it. Because when you say, why would they trade a guy that's so talented? He's a big, can shoot, can drive, can score. But then when you watch him play sometimes, it's like, yo, where's your effort on defense? Pick and roll. Haliburton's going to pick and roll. You stepping way back. Of course you're going to hit a little mid-range. Or times where we fouls, you grabbing a guy, you post up and you grabbing him. It's like, Of course it's a foul. We're in prime time moments and you foul it. Or you grabbing the dude's wrist.
There's cameras.
It's so much. But when you watch the tape, right, because everybody likes to, like in the playoffs, you get to really coach the basketball players.
Yeah.
That's one thing that a lot of my NBA friends, you know this better than anybody, is like I can't really coach in the regular season. But in the playoffs, we can really game plan, right, your opponent.
Yeah.
So when I'm game planning, I'm watching tape, the correct things, I'm like, Carl, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Because we could talk about the points, right? I feel like sometimes in basketball, or sometimes even in football, like if a quarterback throws for a lot of yards, he had a great day. Basketball player, he scores a lot of points, he had a great day. Until you really break it down, it's like, what are you doing here? Because this right here, Carl, we can't win and go to the finals if you're doing stuff like this.
But this is why I say the Knicks are just a better team.
Come on, man.
Because I think like
the
sometimes
Pacers-
the Pacers are just a better team. Thanks for the correction. Because sometimes you're just as weak as your weakest link, and that might even be mentally.
Yeah.
Like we played ball a long time on here. Shady for 12 years, James for 9 years, myself for 4 years. Played for a long time up here. Sometimes, Rachel, I would play with players that were just dumb. Didn't mean they weren't productive. They were just dumb. I played with some linebackers. I won't say them by name.
Wow.
But they were just dumb. Now, with that being said, I wasn't that athletic. I was very smart. I was unathletic. Call it what it is. Everybody needs to be honest with who they are as a player. Karl Anthony Towns plays a dumb brand of basketball. It does not mean he is not a star or an all-star. But there's a reason where Cat gets in foul trouble, Brunson gets in foul trouble.
Break it down
gotta
by dumb. What do you mean by dumb?
All the fouls y'all are talking about. Like, Cat, why are you fouling him right there? It's the first quarter of the game. You know if you're going to use your fouls, let's save them until the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, I knew for a fact Brunson wasn't going to get in foul trouble this game.
Yeah.
Because he got in foul trouble the last game. And Brunson's smart. So Brunson's like, you know what? I can't afford to get in foul trouble again after I just got in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Cat does not play a smart brand of basketball. Cat will get dumb fouls that we all sitting on this desk would say, Cat, you know you can't afford to get in foul trouble. Thibodeau knows Cat don't play smart brand of basketball. Because if Brunson and Thibodeau, when they were both in foul trouble, they say, you know what, Cat, I'm pulling you out the game because you might get another foul right before halftime and you might get 4 fouls sitting at 3. Meanwhile, Thibodeau will say, you know what, Brunson, I'll give you a little bit of a longer leash. So the reason I suggest the Pacers deserve the credit, the Pacers are the reason the Knicks are down 3-1, is because top to bottom, they just play a smarter brand of basketball. Their coaches just exudes a smarter brand of basketball, and I just think the Pacers are a better team, even though they don't necessarily have the same star power.
For me, though, like watching that game, because the game was close. It was going back and forth all game. The Knicks didn't finish a couple quarters, and I think that was the outcome of the ball game. But it's so much easier for the Pacers to get a bucket when you need to get a bucket. Now, during the course of the game, it's going to be a fast break. But when you got to have it and you check that ball in inbounds, it's so much easier for the Pacers to get a bucket the way they play basketball than the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is just ball dominant. Not saying he's not a superstar player, but he's ball dominant. It is so hard for them to get a bucket. The Pacers, the way they playing offense and running it through Haliburton, it's so easy to get a bucket.
Speaking of Haliburton, and Rachel, I want to come to you first for this question as we transition because you have seen the ascension of stars, the ascension of them. You saw the ascension in real time of LeBron James. You saw the ascension in real time of Kobe Bryant. You saw the ascension in real time of Tim Duncan. You saw the ascension in real time of Steve Nash, of Shaquille O'Neal, of literally everybody.
If you say Kareem, we're going to have a problem because I ain't that old.
Of Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody relax. But now, what are we witnessing with Tyrese Haliburton?
I'm thrilled because Tyrese Haliburton is such a fun player to cover, and he's been so great over the years if you've been an NBA person, and I love that the rest of the country is getting to see him. I mean, he does everything you want one of your stars to do, right? First of all, he delivers in the biggest moments. Yeah. I mean, historically, he's been doing things in this playoffs that nobody has ever done before. Yeah. What he did last night, guys, delivering that many points, that many assists, and no turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Literally never happened in the history of the game. And by the way, thank you for letting his father back. We talked about this last week. I have been on this, right? Thank you for letting Papa Haliburton back in the building to see this because it is incredible. It is something a parent should witness. It is something we are all witnessing. And I love that people are seeing the trash that he talks. You talk about, oh, they're not scared, the attitude that they have. That all comes from Tyrese Haliburton. They are behind him 100%. And he is giving not just the basketball sort of X's and O's, but the star power that we want in playoffs where there's going to be criticism, right? If the playoffs or the finals end up going Oklahoma City and Indiana, there will be the whole small market teams or their ratings or people going to want to watch these guys. You want to watch Tyrese Haliburton play basketball. I promise you, he is so much fun.
Yeah, I agree with Rachel for sure. I guess I always agree with you.
Oh, come on. Well, I got the blanket.
I think he's ascending to that stardom role, right? And the cool thing about him is we're watching because nobody wants to give it to him, right? Just think about it for a second. He plays this well the whole playoffs, and you bring his name up, and catches like, I mean, he's good. He's cool. He's good. No, dog. The brother's coming to a superstar. And then we watch him against elite teams, elite talents. When we came into the Knicks series, you heard all about Jalen Brunson. You ain't really hear much about Haliburton. Okay, the Cavs series, same thing. You talk about Spidey, Mitchell, everything else but other than him. And it's like, when players are playing this good, it's natural to give him the light, give him the spotlight. That's why we love Ant-Man. Yeah. Ant-Man's kind of, they talk all that about Ant-Man. He's earned that, right, to this point. And I feel like he's doing the same thing, but he's not getting the love. I think he's finally starting to get that love because you can't keep denying me. Maybe you don't like the way my personality is. Maybe you don't like this, you don't like that. Maybe you don't like my skill set, whatever it is. But you got to respect what he's doing. And I think he's starting to kind of earn that right because people that really don't like him, now they got to like him. Or people that didn't like him, now they got to respect him. That's the key right there. Because a lot of players that be really, really good and people might not just like them because whatever it may be. But you got to respect them because they are playing so well. And we will see him in the finals.
We witnessing one of the most overrated players in the national
Have I broken down the survey for you guys?
No.
This is one of my favorite things. All right. So you know what the big storyline is like, he's the most voted the most overrated player by his peers, right? Here's the problem with that. That survey, there's 450 players in the NBA. Yeah. Only 90 players even answered that question. So you're only dealing with 90. That's less than a quarter, right? And of those 90, only 14.4% said that he was overrated, which maths out to 13 guys. There were 13 players in the NBA, in the entire 450-person NBA, who think Tyrese Haliburton is overrated. It's possible that the Milwaukee Bucks are 12 of those 13 players. I don't know. The rivalry between those two teams is deep. Someone's pissed off he made the Olympic team instead of them. That's one other guy. I mean, the NBA does not think Tyrese Haliburton is overrated, but hasn't he made, the best hay out of this? Overrate that, sucker.
And that's why you don't spread rumors. That's why you don't spread rumors right there, man, because you don't know what to believe. But no, he's proven everybody wrong, man. And the blessing about it is you're right. We don't get to see Tyrese Haliburton play on national TV 24/7. So we don't know how good this Pacers team or how good Haliburton is. And when he got his opportunity, and he has his opportunity right now to show the world that I'm like that, he's showing the world that he's a top player in the National Basketball League, man. Wherever you want to put him at, if you want to put him as superstar, good player, wherever you want to put him, he's showing the world that I'm like that as a basketball player, and we are going to be problems out here in Indiana for a very, very, very long time because of me. Because I make everybody around me better, because of the type of player I am. And that is what he's showing right now. So all the underrated stuff is out of the window. This dude is a legit star in the NBA right now, and we are witnessing a dude go to work. I mean, what we witnessed last night, man, that was crazy.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. I think, we're witnessing one of those I remember when moments. When something becomes big, but y'all were there first? It could have been Facebook. Facebook now ended up being popping, but y'all remember y'all may have been...
MySpace was my thing. MySpace. Yeah, because I'm hearing a little DM. I'm trying to holler at her. You see with the picture.
Okay,
my bad.
My bad. Let me focus.
Flashbacks. Yeah, let me focus. Even a lot of people are hip-hop artists. I remember when Chance finally won his Grammy, and I was like, bro, I remember seeing Chance low-key at a show in Austin, Chance the Rapper. Yeah. I remember... when the iPhone finally became its first big thing, and y'all remember the iPads and the iPod Nanos and all those little things.
We had them.
This to me is that I remember when moment. I think Haliburton will wind up becoming a champion maybe several times, Olympic gold medalist maybe several times, and we're gonna be like, yo, y'all remember when Haliburton took Giannis to the cup for the game winner versus the Bucks? Y'all remember when Haliburton made his first free throw, missed his second free throw, pulled it back out for a Spidey splash, Trey Ball won? Y'all remember when Haliburton hit that dagger three and then did the choke stindle against the Knicks just to go back in overtime and win it later? Y'all remember when Haliburton had 65-plus points accounted for with no turnovers, was one of only 4 players in NBA history to do that, along with Chris Paul, Jokic, and Jamal Murray? Y'all remember when? I'm sure we do it with LeBron James all the time. I remember when LeBron led the Cavs versus the Spurs in 2007. And now LeBron ends up being one of the top 5, top 3 greatest players of all time. I think we're witnessing that. We're living through the I remember when moment. And in 20, 30 years from now, we will all be like, no. We was there. We watched it. Rachel was there. Rachel was at game 1. I think this is
only thing, and that was a great breakdown. That's why you get on TV. Only thing with that though, you got to win a championship. Yeah, because all that stuff LeBron did, that was great. That was cool. When you win a chip, let's talk about it. Oh, remember?
Yes.
So if he don't win a chip, it's going to be hard to even bring up all that old stuff. Because I know a lot of great players that had a lot of great moments that didn't really amount to nothing. So he do got to get that chip because you know what? We don't look at him the same way. Like, even me, like, I always thought he was like, I thought he was good, you know? But now, I think he's special now. Yeah. And now you got a special player, we win special results. And the special results is confetti coming down.
But here's what's so fascinating to me, Rachel, chime in quickly after, is Haliburton doing this with this squad of non-superstar talent. It leads me to believe, I think Haliburton's only 25 years of age. It leads me to believe, like, Haliburton's runway, God only knows how long it is. It's not like he plays some incredibly physical brand of basketball like Giannis where you're like, oh, maybe his body might break down. Haliburton plays a brand of basketball that you would anticipate he could play long into his mid-30s. Yeah. So when I think about even Haliburton winning a chip, I'm like, that runway is potentially so long because he doesn't play a physical, overly aggressive brand of basketball. He's not some high flyer where you have to worry about knee pain going forward. I do think Haliburton has a championship, not just the one in 2 weeks from now, but I think he potentially has championships in his future.
It's so hard, though, right? We're going to have our 7th champion in 7 years this year. It is very hard to even just get to the stage. And let's assume, by the way, I don't think the Knicks are totally out of this series, but it is hard to win as many games in a row as they will have to win. So let's just say that he advances. Let's say Oklahoma City advances. Let's wait and see Tyrese Haliburton against the Oklahoma City defense before you start racking up how many championships he's going to have.
I love you, girl. I just said I just said that. But here's the thought. That defense is different.
But by the way, I mean, I think Tyrese Haliburton is worthy of all of the praise you are heaping on him. But I do, again, I started the segment saying the Knicks have a middling defense. That's not some insult. It's just a statistical fact.
But what about
and the Oklahoma
Giants?
City Thunder do not. And we'll have to see.
What about the Giants? Because here's my thing. Before this series, Shady was one of the big proponents of, like, Haliburton ain't really had to, he ain't there yet. But I was like 2-5, bro. Like, Haliburton, he's done it. He's hit game winners in Series 1, game winners in Series 2. Then he hit the game winner in Series 2. I was like, this is what he does. Obviously, the Thunder were the second best. No, they were the best team in basketball. I don't know if the Cavs or them had the better record. Who had the better record in totality? I forget.
At the end of the season, I think the Cavs did. But they were still 16 ahead of everybody else in the West.
So when I think about it, the Pacers have already slayed Giants.
Yeah.
They already slayed, they slayed Giants on a micro level and a macro level. Haliburton took Giannis to the cup to win the game. Not no little slouch. Took Giannis to the cup. The Cavs were the 1 seed. The 1 seed. The Pacers did not just beat them handedly, albeit there were injuries for the Cavs. I can't omit that piece of information, but everybody has injuries. The Thunder, if the Pacers get there, they are the next giant. But we have seen, and if the Thunder get there, obviously, because the T-Wolves, they still have a chance too. But we've seen the Pacers slay giants. So I just don't have any more doubts that the Pacers can continue to slay giants because they've done it all playoffs.
What you trying to say? Because you ain't saying it. So what you trying to say? You know what I mean? It's like Rachel, you trying to ask for her number, and you don't just say, hey, what's your number? I'll take you all today. Oh, well, what do you do for a living? What are you doing this week? You know what I mean? What are you No, dog. I want you. You ain't saying that. So what you trying to say?
What you trying to say?
We asked for a phone number. What you trying to say? They slayed Giants.
I'm trying to say, are you available later this evening? That's what I'm trying to say.
Because listen, I'll say that. And Rachel said it. She said it earlier. She said, listen, he doing his thing because I respect players that's balling. He's balling, and I don't care injuries, not injuries. That's part of the game. Yeah. But all this might not be remembered
if you don't
to the public. If you go against OKC like she just talked about. And we see defensive performance like they're doing against Ant-Man. We're going to hold up now.
To be honest with you, though, that's not Haliburton's game, though. Like, Haliburton is only averaging 19 points in the entire playoffs. So his game is making sure... No, but I'm saying, like, his game is not Ant-Man's game. So it's easy to kind of take Ant-Man out of the game because Ant-Man is ball dominant. He's trying to score and do all... Haliburton is trying to make everybody around him better. So that game plan against Haliburton is going to be different, and it's going to be a whole lot harder to slow him down because he's making the right play.
Well, he led the league in assists last year.
He scored too, though, now.
He does, but I'm saying
when they big games,
he don't score at an extremely high clip. He's going to get his teammates involved at a high clip.
He is. He does everything.
A lot more to discuss with this game, but when we return, nobody is saying what must be said in the NFL. The Steelers' quarterback situation, not only is it atrocious, it has been absolutely negligently mishandled. We got to talk about it. That's next.
I don't know what players.
Who's my network channel?
Who are them players, though?
Shady, how do you ask for the number?
Yeah.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
There are gigantic question marks right now in all of the NFL, but there is no bigger question than who is going to start at quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It might be Will Howard, or it might be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, a four-time MVP. Will Howard, a sixth-round pick. Mason Rudolph acquired this offseason. He's rejoining the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, Terry Bradshaw actually said, quote, of the pursuit of Aaron Rodgers, that to me is just a joke. A joke. A joke. Shady McCoy, how bad of a look is the Steelers quarterback situation?
This is embarrassing. Oh. Like, imagine trying to sell season tickets to your fans. And let me tell you something. Pittsburgh, it's real fans. Like, they bleed that thing. Right? They play the Ravens. You wear some purple. You might not make it out of there. Right? Imagine sounding like, hey, man, our quarterbacks are, what's their names again?
Mason Rudolph.
Will Howard. All right, yeah, what he was saying, because I don't even know.
Don't forget Skyler.
Skyler. Diggins. Oh, that's right. My bad. So, but serious note, though, like, what are we trying to do here? And then we praying that a 40-year-old quarterback's going to come play? Because when you get that age, James, you know best because you are 40-something. Sometimes.
I'm not 40-something. Don't put that on me.
40? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want to do it no more. Right?
I thought he was being real.
Oh,
How old are you?
He's trying to get off being 40.
41? Yeah. Okay.
Tell you what, starting at 42 a couple. but back to my take. The problem is when you turn that type of age, sometimes you feel like doing something, and then the very second,
what happens?
You don't want to do it no more. I'm in my high 30s and like, sometimes I be like, man. You get what I'm saying?
You went to bed wanting to play Wake Up Back hurting.
and that's what we dependent on? It's crazy. If you a running back over there, I know you upset.
You are.
If you DK, Metcalf, I get the money, cool. I'm gonna spend it the right way. But I'm not happy.
No.
I'm walking right past the quarterback room, I got nothing to say.
Can't be.
Good morning, DK.
Yeah.
You're not even excited.
You might be extra excited, so you're trying to get some passes. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Man, come on.
Saying.
They got to follow. The quarterbacks they got in that room, they got to follow the game plan no matter what it is. They can't do nothing extra. It's embarrassing, though. And imagine all the greats. I feel the same way Terry feels. When you put so much into the game and you were once that franchise player for that franchise with the Eagles, when they had bad days, it's cool. But when they have terrible days, it hurts me. I come to work, I'm limping to work. Like I got hit because I'm so hurt.
Yeah.
I just feel like this, man. To be a Steelers fan, it's a sad, sad day. Because the guys is leading your troops out there, nobody even knows their first or last name or none of that. It's embarrassing. And now you praying for 40-year-old man to come save them? It's terrible. Dude come around here with all grays in his helmet. Save the day. Come on, bro.
His hair in his helmet.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing,
For
bro.
me,
It is.
it's less than ideal, right? It's not ideal. But where's this energy been since 2022? This has been the situation that the Steelers have been in since Ben Roethlisberger's retired. And so take a look at,
At least they trying, though.
Look at these quarterbacks that they've had, right? Justin Fields, he was 4-2, got benched. Kenny Pickett, 14-10. Think they really gave up on him a little bit early. Like, at least they tried to go out and draft a guy. It didn't work out. Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, Russell Wilson, all these guys, and they just keep spinning their wheels. It's like an endless search that Mike Tomlin's had to go on since they've lost Ben Roethlisberger, since Ben Roethlisberger retired. And so for me, it's like, it's one of those things where I get the uproar, I get all this stuff, but it's been this way. And all of a sudden we're going to react to be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers. So we had an Aaron Rodgers topic on it yesterday. We're like, hey, they'll be good for 1 year, and then say good, maybe the playoffs. 10 wins, I think, is a max with Aaron Rodgers. But when you look at their whole organization, they have not developed quarterbacks. They've tried. And look, they have 12 draft picks next year. And I think that's probably where they're going, and that's probably why they didn't want to re-sign Russell Wilson. That's probably why they didn't want to re-sign Justin Fields. And, you know, I'm like with Shady a little bit on this. Like, you got to look at the guys in that locker room. Like, you know, Aaron Rodgers will come in. He doesn't have any timing with the receivers. He's going to be fine. But then it's like these older defensive core players like we've been talking about. What are they, like, they only have a window of so long before they need a full rebuild in this team, and they're wasting some of these defensive players' primes. That's probably my biggest issue with it is like, great, Aaron Rodgers gets you 10-7. What are you doing next year? You're gonna have to draft, and you're gonna have to go through the growing pains with the rookie. And this is sort of what Mike Tomlin's tried to do, is try to fill the void like a leak. You know, as you spring a leak, fill that void and fill that. Eventually, it's gonna all come down.
But Chase,
and they got to rebuild it.
Like real quick, so I just was thinking, like, 'cause you're the quarterback here. And, like, Kenny Pickett was a first-round quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get something there. Okay.
Hoping he was going to be good.
Russell Wilson, right? I don't think he played that bad, but I'm trying to have a future Hall of Famer to lead my troops. And then even on the worst scenario, Fields.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, to some people, he could be a starter. And he has some talent there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying. But my thing to you is, like, what's the excuse now? Because you can't be trying.
Yeah.
And then we keep talking about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, to be honest, he won 5 games last year, but there's no real, like, he didn't really commit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like, we're acting like,
but I'm saying we acting like he said, yo, I'm coming to pick. He didn't do that.
Yeah, at least for what we know. It's just, Shady, they keep kicking the can down the road. Like eventually you're going to have to start over and you're going to start new. And I'm of the Andy Reid, and you play with them, premise is like, you always want to draft a quarterback. They tried Kenny Pickett once. They haven't drafted any other guys. Like they've been doing it and trying to build their most important position in sports through free agency, and that's not how it works. It's called draft and develop, and they have whole programs on this, and we haven't seen the Steelers do
But
it.
here's several issues, and I'm going to be real with it. Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin's biggest enemy, period. We all watching one of the most important positions in sports be absolutely negligently mishandled, and nobody is saying anything about it. I don't know why, but Tomlin is absolutely undermining the work of all other 90 players that are currently on the roster until it gets cut down to 53. T.J. Watt could have 35 sacks. Won't matter without a quarterback. Patrick Queen, 250 tackles. Won't matter without a quarterback. Minka Fitzpatrick could have 15 interceptions. Won't matter without a quarterback. None of the work that any of the other players on the roster do will matter so long as Mike Tomlin, and it is on Mike Tomlin, continues to completely mishandle this quarterback situation. It's the most negligent and grossly negligent thing we have witnessed in sports. Because not only is Mike Tomlin, at this junction in time, not identifying the proper quarterback, he's not committing to the proper quarterback, he's not developing the proper quarterback. The 5th consecutive season that the Steelers will have a different opening day starter at the quarterback position. 5th consecutive season that in the most important position, you will have a different opening day starter. We are all witnessing this car crash, and ain't nobody calling an ambulance, trusting that somebody else gonna do it. It's a car crash going on with this Steelers quarterback situation. Completely. I can't believe that the Steelers are acting like a completely ignorantly run football organization. It's the Steelers. We can't even say that no more.
Yeah, all the blame is to go to the Steelers, man. You know, if you ain't worked out in a long time, and you up in age like me and Shady, and you go in there and you put heavy weights on the squat rack, you gotta expect to be sore in the morning.
Pull
You can't expect to just come out of there and be like, ain't none of my muscles sore. This is all the Steelers' fault. And it's been all the Steelers' fault since the last 5 years in a row they started a different quarterback. And you know what? As you guys are talking, Aaron Rodgers might be a blessing in disguise for the Steelers. And the main reason why is because they don't know how to develop quarterbacks. So you might as well get one that's developed at 41, 45, 46. It don't matter. You need a quarterback that's developed because you can't develop quarterbacks. You've had first-round quarterbacks. You've had second-round quarterbacks. You've had third-round quarterbacks. You had fourth-round quarterbacks. You ain't developed none of them. So you need a quarterback that's to develop, obviously, to help the coach out. The coach knows how to develop defensive players. The coach knows how to develop defense. You do not know how to develop quarterbacks. So get a quarterback in there that's already developed. You put yourself in this situation, and now you are forced to wait on Aaron Rodgers. You do not have no choice because you're not going to win no games or make it into the playoffs with Skylar Thompson and those dudes. You're not. And I feel sorry for DK Metcalf and them boys because if it's any position that needs the quarterback to be good, is the wide receiver. Because the quarterback got to be good. The O-line got to be good. And the quarterback got to throw it to you so you can do your job. Right now, DK Metcalf ain't got none of that but money. Right. And that's true facts.
Hey, but you want the real true facts? The real true facts is the reason why the quarterback's been so bad since Big Ben. You know whose fault it is? Big Ben's fault. Let me take you back to Big Ben.
Ooh,
I'm going to keep it real with you because other people don't get this opportunity. First of all, Big Ben was done a long time ago before he was done.
True.
Right? I'm thinking like, wow, so you're going to let him just keep messing up the whole team?
True.
The problem was when Big Ben was playing bad, he said, you know what? He interviewed, he said, hey, I just don't really have it no more. Mm-hmm. When the players say that, the GM, the head coach, the ownership, oh my God, we got to do something else. We got to get a backup plan. Yeah. You know what they did? They didn't. Because when they were trying to draft somebody, he got upset about, hey, I mean, I'm Big Ben. I'm here. Oh, so let's step back. Let's step back. We don't want to offend our Super Bowl winning quarterback. Let's step back. Yeah. And now he kept playing worse and worse and worse, and you never fixed it. And you know now who has the issue? Not Big Ben. Got money, chilling, family. He good. Tomlin and the Steelers have a problem now because y'all never fixed the problem when y'all let your quarterback run the organization. That's the truth.
And to Shady's point,
that is the truth. Come on now, the truth.
The quarterbacks that were drafted during that 3 to 4 year period where Ben was no longer good but was still playing, that's when Josh Allen got drafted.
Talk about
That's when Pat got drafted. That's when Lamar got drafted. That's
Deshaun Watson.
That's when, like, everybody got drafted in that, like, 17, 18, 19 era. That's when all of that next generation of Qs got drafted.
And I get what you're saying, Shady, but I mean, look, Roethlisberger definitely handled it the wrong way. He got upset. It's not on Ben. It's on the organization. Who cares about your feelings when you're trying to win? Look at what Andy Reid did. They traded up with Alex Smith coming off the best season of his career. You know what? Because this is our guy.
Alex.
I know, but I'm just saying there's other examples. I'm just using one. Like, there's other examples of quarterbacks. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like all these guys, we knew we had to get a replacement. If they love someone so much in the first round, they've had multiple first-round picks, why not do that? Everyone should follow the Green Bay Packers plan. I mean, they've had 3 unbelievable quarterbacks. Now, you're probably not going to hit on all of them, but they're always drafting a guy, and they're sit them. That's fine. Think if they had a second-year quarterback or third-year quarterback that was a first-round pick that had just waited and learned and did all this, now they can play. But it's hard to play a rookie quarterback.
But remember when they did draft Mason Rudolph, because they drafted Rudolph while Ben was there, he threw a fit.
That's what I'm talking about. He went crazy about it.
Oh, my God.
He was a fourth round.
Fourth-round pick. And Ben was like, I ain't coaching this kid. Like, that's not my job.
He's mad about it. And they hold on. But wait, they never did it again. But this is what I'm saying. So you bring Andy Reid up because you play underneath and all that. So if Alex Smith says playing but had a bad year, he says, you know what, I really don't even have it no more. To the world.
He gone.
You don't think Andy Reid's going to draft somebody else?
Oh, yeah, right away.
So I'm about to, even when people talk about retirement, when the players start saying that retirement stuff, yes, let's get away from this dude. You know why? Because he got 1 foot out and 1 foot in. Yeah. So when Big Ben, and you could say it's the franchise's fault, right? I love to see that part of the franchise. Like, you know what? I love to be loyal because there's not a lot of loyalty in this sport. And Ben has been great for the Steelers. Right. Okay? They don't win without Ben. Yeah. But what I'm saying is when you start talking like that, and then we try to bring somebody in the 4th round, you go crazy. And now we're scared. Okay, we don't want to offend our guy that did so much for our franchise. So then you take a step back and then you don't really draft no high picks. And now you look at it 10 years later and they're still looking for a quarterback. Yeah. So yes, I do blame Big Ben for that because that was super selfish.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely selfish, but the franchise is so much bigger than the quarterback. And I'm with you, Shady. When someone starts even remotely talking about, and you can tell in his media interviews or
it's time to roll
that it's time to go. Like it's time. We got to draft, and that's what these teams that consistently draft quarterbacks, the Eagles, the Chiefs, they just consistently do that. They are going to hit on something.
Is this only matter for the Q? The reason I suggest that is like Killer Trav right now is kind of in that space of like, I don't know if I want to keep playing. I don't know if I'm retired.
Positional
Killer
value.
Trav means so much to the Chiefs.
A tight end doesn't do like what a quarterback does. It's quarterback. Like quarterback's the most important position in sports. I agree. Like, but they're not going to take a first-round tight end. Like, it's not that important for them to win. You know what I mean? A tight end versus a quarterback.
Fair. Hey, well, what is important is who's going to become the next face of the NBA. Charles Barkley said something that you would have to hear. You know, when Charles Barkley speaks, it's always a little bit brilliant or a little bit crazy. We'll figure out which one it is. But have we crowned Ant too soon? I think Chuck says so. That's next.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hey, the Thunder, they are up 3-1 and can eliminate Anthony Edwards' Timberwolves tonight. There's been a lot of talk about Ant-Man being the next face of the NBA, but Charles Barkley said, hey, everybody slow down.
Don't try to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. The face of the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joker, and Giannis. You can't give it to people. They have to take it. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is taking it.
I love what he said. But again, Rachel, as someone who has seen individuals ascend to become the face of the NBA, you think Barkley is right?
He is wrong. You know why he is wrong? Because the face of the NBA, they're not any of the people he named. The faces of the NBA are LeBron James and Steph Curry. That is it. Those are the faces of the NBA. You know how I know? Because your grandmother knows who they are. Your grandmother does not know largely. Some grandmas know who Nikola Jokic is, and I applaud those grandmas. But a lot of grandmas do not,
My grandma
right?
don't know the Joker.
No? Or SGA? Or any, right?
Yeah.
The face of the NBA is a big, huge deal, and it rarely goes to people. There haven't been that many faces of the NBA, right? You got Bill Russell, you got Magic and Bird, you got Michael, right? You got Michael, you've got LeBron, you've got Steph. That's maybe it, right?
Kobe kind of once.
Kobe was kind of in there post MJ, in the middle MJ, all of the stuff. So to be the face of the NBA, first of all, you got to win rings. Right? Probably multiple rings. You have to have charisma that jumps off the screen personality-wise. Tim Duncan, hell of a player, man. One of the top 10 players of all time, impacted winning to such a degree. He's got a drawer full of rings. Never a face of the NBA. Did not have that kind of charisma and personality. And Shady, you are right. You said it a couple weeks ago to me. You said it has to be a guy that the kids in my neighborhood want to be. It has to be someone that people can relate to, right? It's I want to be like Mike, if I could be like Mike, right? But that means it's usually not a big man. So we differ a little bit because you don't think the face of the NBA can be a foreign-born player. I think that will eventually happen. It just can't be a big man because people can't relate to that. But anyway, any of these guys that he's talking about, they are not the face of the NBA because the face of the NBA is still someone, as Larry Johnson would say, your grandmama knows. Grandmama knows Steph and LeBron. And by the way, when they do exit the stage, and it's not going to be this year, it is still going to take a couple years. And that is my experience covering this league. After Michael Jordan left, everyone was like, he's the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA. It takes a few years to settle out. We're not going to know right now.
Right now, that was spot. That was spot on. You know what I'm saying? Everything I was thinking, everything I was writing, you just said all that. So I could say everything she said. Yeah. but she is right now, and I disagree with Charles, and I love Charles. Charles is one of my favorite on TV. I just think that it comes down to obviously your game, right? But can I relate to him? Can your grandma relate to him? Can the kids in the neighborhood relate to him? And I think Ant-Man was, I guess, maybe he's right about kind of forcing it. It's because you can see it in Ant-Man. Right? Everything that Rachel just talked about, the smile, the charisma, the swagger, the ball, the game. He's 23, he's been to the West Conference Final 2 years in a row. So if I had to pick a guy that's going to take over the crown when LeBron and Steph leaves, it's somebody like that, who everybody in every neighborhood can really relate to. He's an American, right? So it's easy to sell an American in an American sport in a game. And then the way he plays the game, right? This match would take you back when you was a kid. I would get the ball, do all this. Kobe. Right, I'm on a little small hoop. MJ, I can't really relate to the Jokic's.
Notice how he said a small hoop because he can't dunk on 10 feet.
Well, I was like 10, 12 years old. Sorry.
He did get the tongue out though when he said it in the middle of the sentence, which I thought was pretty impressive.
So like you can relate. You can relate to it. Like Luka is phenomenal. A lot of kids in the hood can't relate to Luka. Yeah. They just move faster. Simple things. Giannis. You ain't gonna find me guys that's 6'11" that play like a guard. It's actually hard to relate to. So I disagree with Charles, but I think that the reason why we just seen Ant-Man in that next light, because you can kind of see if this guy wins a ring or two, I can see him taking over because all characteristics that he hits.
I agree and disagree with Chuck. Where I agree with Chuck is, where I disagree with Chuck is I don't know that it's going to be Shea, that it's going to be Giannis, that it's going to be Jokic. Disagree with him there. Where I do agree with him is, boy, are we thirsty. Y'all know y'all go to the club and they trying to talk to so many people. It's like, you so thirsty. We are so thirsty for the next face of the NBA. I've only been on sports television for 6 years because I was playing prior to that, and I've seen three faces supposed to be. Zion Williamson at first, about 2019, 2018. Then we said Ja Morant, right around 2021, 2022. It's going to be Ja. And now in 2024, 2025, it's supposed to be Ant. We got to let them not just earn it, we got to let them go get it. What I hate in sports, because I know how hard it is to be great, because I was not, because I know how hard it is to be great, I hate when we try to make people generational who aren't generational yet. They can be good. They can be elite. They can be stars, but they're not generational yet. We do it in every sport. I remember Naomi Osaka, she was #1 in 2019. She's the next Serena.
Yep.
You know how hard it is to be Serena? Hasn't been #1 yet. Coco Gauff, only 21 years old. I think Coco Gauff is going to be a phenom. 2016, she stopped at 16, she popped onto the scene. She's the next Serena. No, she got one major. Let her go get it. I remember Usain Bolt. We've been thirsty for Usain Bolt. You know how hard it is to be Usain Bolt? And now Ant-Man, trying to make Ant-Man the next Jordan, trying to make Ja Morant the next Iverson, trying to make Zion Williamson the next great multi-hyphenate big. Everybody, we got to relax. Let them go take it. So that's where I do agree with Chuck. It's like, these players are great, but we trying to make them generational. Let them go become generational. They're not there just yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree and disagree with Chuck. Number one, you do have to go take it. But nobody ever said Anthony Edwards is the face of the NBA. Everybody says this dude could be the next man up. And the main reason why we said he could be the next man up is why, Chuck? Because he's been balling. And he has charisma. And he's been in the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years. That's why. It's not like we just chose a bum off the couch and said, you're up next. Anthony Edwards has been getting buckets. He's been beating KD. He's been beating Steph. He's been beating LeBron. He's been accomplishing all this. He's a baller. He can fly. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mirror. He is a phenomenal basketball player. So it's not like we just picked a weak dude. All we said was this dude could be the next face of the NBA. Has he taken hold of it this year? No, he has not. We're finding that out now in the Western Conference Finals that he still has a lot of work to do, but we never just crowned him. We just said he can be the next man up. Does he have to earn it? That's where I agree with you. Yes, and that is why he's not strictly the face of the NBA yet, because he still does have a lot of work to do, and he still does have to earn it. But we put him in that conversation because he's a baller, because he has the charisma and all that to be the next face. Nobody said he was. We just said this dude, this young fella could be the next man.
Hey, Rachel, let me ask you a question, because you're the most knowledgeable on the desk when it pertains to this for sure. When did LeBron become the face? Because I remember Kobe was still winning rings. He still was the Mamba, right? And it's like they always try to get like a slogan or a pitch for the world, right? Because that's what a real star is. When you see him on TV, the Sprite and all that type of stuff. So when did LeBron, because he didn't win his chip till his 8th year, correct?
It took a while. So here's the thing. Look, MJ finally retired for the 602nd time right when LeBron came into the league. So everyone knew LeBron was, remember, the chosen one across the Sports Illustrated cover. Everyone knew that he was sort of tabbed as next, to your point, next, but not there yet. And there was a big scramble after MJ left of who is going to be the next face in the league. And nobody was saying LeBron at that point because he was too young. He was a rookie. We knew he was going to be special, but there was no way to say at that point, oh, my God, that's it. It's him already, that kind of thing. And so people cycle through. I mentioned it a few weeks ago to you guys. Harold Miner was called Baby Jordan. Harold Miner, who history has largely forgotten, but people went and called him Baby Jordan. Grant Hill, people thought might be the next Jordan. Then he got hurt. Kobe Bryant obviously had a lot of claim to that title. It takes a while, and we don't know until it actually happens, and people surprise you. You spent the top of the show talking about Tyrese Haliburton and how you think that, decades from now, people might be talking about this playoffs. We don't know yet. Nobody would have had that conversation a year ago.
Why didn't it become Iverson?
Look, I
Never
think
won. That's my favorite player.
I was going to say, Allen Iverson to me is not just my favorite NBA player. He is our greatest living American, and if anyone has an issue with that, they can come find me. But I think it was a couple of things. First of all, he didn't win. His size, obviously, and the fact that there were constant problems with sort of the dress code and the league image and sort of whether sponsors wanted to put him in those spots. Anthony Edwards really has a chance to become the next face of the league, partly because he has a thing. There's a lot of really, really good basketball players in the NBA, but that charisma element.
He has it.
When you talk about, again, sponsors and you talk about Iverson and all of that, man, those commercials with Anthony Edwards, they're so good.
The smile, everything.
That is not a little thing. I sang the Be Like Mike song because it mattered. It made people who weren't basketball fans think, I like that guy. I see that ad, right?
Real quick, because before you leave, right? Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, though. So like Haliburton, right? If he goes out there and gets 3 championships and he's playing the way he plays, I still don't think that we will make him the face of the league because I don't see it like I see in Ant-Man. Am I tripping by saying that?
No, you're not. Look, the NBA has been around for more than 75 years. You know how many faces of the league we've had? Probably 10, right? Like, I mean, I'm gonna go way back, right? To the Peach Baskets. But my point is, like, it's not comes up every 2 years, right? We're talking eras. We are talking about 10, 15-year spans that guys are faces of the league. And so it's not going to be 5 or 6 guys. Charles ripping off 3 or 4 guys, it's not going to be any of those guys, right? It is going to take a while, and it is going to be someone who's going to be sitting there for another decade.
Yeah. Hey, well, from the face of the NBA to one of the faces of the NFL, Dak Prescott started OTAs. I believe it is today that the Cowboys start. So who is under more pressure, the star of the defense and Micah Parsons, the man on your screen, number 11, or the star of the offense, the quarterback, Dak Prescott? That's next from the facility.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code listen50. T's and C's apply.
Cowboys back in action, OTAs today. Dak Prescott says the team is already buying into new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. But huge focus will be on the quarterback and the quarterback of the defense, you could suggest, in Micah Parsons. Hey, talking to our quarterback here on the set, who is under more pressure, Dak Prescott or Micah this season?
I personally don't even think it's close. I think it's Dak Prescott. And respectfully to Micah, it's great. He's an all-pro. He's all these things.
A lot of things.
When you're the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, I think it's the most pressure-packed position in all of sports. And the only way you don't feel the pressure is if you win the Super Bowl. But you know what? They're going to expect you to do it the next year. And then the next year. Because the Cowboys have rings. And they haven't won one in 35 years. So no matter what Dak Prescott does, he could finish 15 months ago second in MVP voting, and we're having conversations like this today because he got hurt, and the Cowboys are going to go as far as Dak takes them. I don't think there's a more pressure-packed position than all of sports. So obviously he's coming off injury, and I like sort of what Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I like what they're building down there. They're trying to build the off-the-field stuff, the camaraderie, being a good teammate. It has to translate to success on the football field in the season. And the only way it translates is if Dak Prescott plays at an MVP type level and they still might have a first-round exit. Because what he's done in the playoffs, we're going to sit up here and talk about it day in and day out. And I think this to me, for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak, this is a make or break year for Dak. Meaning, if Dak does not play up to standard, they have to start looking behind door number 2. What is door number 2? I don't know. And I say that because in 2026, Dak Prescott next year he has $40 million guaranteed. After that, nothing. So potentially in 2027, you could be looking at a new quarterback unless they get a new contract with him, unless that they feel like Dak is on the up and up. We could have the same situation like we were talking about with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Need to start drafting somebody. Yeah. Next year, they probably will. So for me, all those things being said, Cowboys quarterback, right? The most pressure-packed position in all sports, and then you only have one more year after this year of guaranteed money, it's Dak.
James Jones.
I couldn't agree with you more, Chase.
Oh, wow.
All the pressure's on Dak to deliver this year. If Dak Prescott don't deliver this year, you have to look behind door number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak Prescott might be looking for a new football team because he has let you know going into year 9, 10, whatever it may be going on, that he can't get the job done in Dallas. And it might have to go try to get the job done elsewhere. But we have went out here and we have traded for another number 1 wide receiver. So all the excuses for Dak Prescott is gone. Need another playmaker on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. Need this, need that. We went and we got you another bona fide number 1 wide receiver in George Pickens to go with an all-pro wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. We drafted an old lineman in the first round to make sure that you are protected. We brought in 3 running backs and we drafted a running back to give you a solid running game. You have to deliver. And the Dallas Cowboys, if they are going to be good this year, is not going to be because of Micah Parsons. It is going to be because of Dak Prescott. If they are going to be bad this year, it is not going to be because of Micah Parsons. It is going to be because of the way Dak Prescott played. All the pressure's on Dak Prescott. I believe this is a make-or-break year for him, too, because I think if he does not deliver this year, especially in meaningful games, especially in the playoffs, he could be looking for a new team. I don't care how much money he's due, how much money he's made. He could be looking for a new team if he does not deliver. It is time for Dak to deliver in the big moments. And if he doesn't, the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to look elsewhere. All the pressure's on him. Micah Parsons is a 3-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, and only been in the league for 4 years. Ain't no pressure on him. He going to do what he need to do. Dak Prescott, are you?
Well said.
Man, that's funny, man. It's funny how we all play this game. We got different answers.
So it makes it great.
I disagree with y'all.
See it totally different.
Pressure's on Micah Parsons. Let me tell you why.
I know. I'm ready to listen.
I'm ready.
Every time we talk about Dak Prescott, he always gets a pass.
No.
Let's talk about it.
Not from you.
I'm the only one keeping it real about him. I watch y'all on this desk, y'all two, for sure, and this guy to the left. Dak needs more. Dak needs more. He needs better this. He needs better that. He needs more this. He needs more than that. And I'm looking at, when I watch the games, right? I watched 2 years in a row you lose to the Niners, right? One of the years you could kind of argue if it was your fault. I thought it was, but whatever. I mean, as a quarterback, you pay all this money. You should have better awareness of the clock management. Let's not even argue that one. Cool. But the next year, though, team is loaded with talent on defense and offense. Running back, wide receivers, linemen, a stingy defense, you name it. Guys getting picks, sacks. You lose up there in the playoffs to the Niners, and the reason why y'all lost wasn't because of Micah, wasn't because of the defense, wasn't because of CeeDee Lamb. It was because Dak. Dak lost that game. You know what they said next year? He needs more. He needs more. Cool. The next year, playoffs. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They played the Packers in the playoffs. Before we get to the Packers, in the regular season, everybody wants to brag about this MVP thing, like he won an MVP. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I don't brag about coming in second place. There's no award for that. There's a lot of guys that get on the MVP voting list and all that as candidates. We don't talk about the third, the second, the fourth. We talk about the winner. He did not win, but he played well. Played so well that he was number 2 in MVP voting, correct?
Yeah.
We get to the playoffs. The youngest inexperienced team in the playoffs that year was the Packers.
Yeah.
Right? We see Drew Lock for 1 year.
They snuck in, too.
And then they smoked Shaw. Why did they lose that game, Shady?
2 picks by Dak.
One was a pick 6.
Yep.
You need to note that.
Noted.
And you threw another pick. So now when we look at this, we didn't blame Dak. We looked at the defense did this. The real issue in Dallas is that the quarterback they have there, he never gets no blame for nothing. You might hear little whispers, but they always find a way to correct it. So I'm going to go with Parsons just because the quarterback that's making $6 million, that they don't hold him to that standard, he don't get no real blame from nothing.
You don't think Dak Prescott?
But it's pressure.
You don't think Dak Prescott one of the most critiqued quarterbaks in the game?
No matter what.
But every
People
time,
be on Dak's
but
head.
instead of getting on his head, I watch you, who you are one of the most realest, illest dudes I know, and you say he needs more.
I did. And that has ran out.
Yeah,
But the
line is gone.
But do you see how people create that narrative of he needs more?
Yeah.
The brother had all pros all
And I
around him.
understand that. And I was one of the ones that said he needed more. And that line is over now.
And then
it's done.
And the last thing for you, real quick, to finish the take. You telling me a quarterback's been playing starting for your team for 9 years. He only brings you 2 playoff wins.
5, right?
And we're going to give you a $60 million contract?
Yeah, that's crazy. But how can you...
It's a bad deal, bro.
My thing is how can you put the pressure on Micah? This dude got 53 sacks.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
3-time All-Pro and a 4-time Pro Bowl in 4 years.
They don't have
what pressure on him?
They don't have nothing to do with Micah. Because when you watch Micah, all he does is ball.
That's what I'm saying.
And I watch more conversation on TV about him and podcasting, all this silly stuff.
Yeah.
When the quarterback that loses you games, that don't win you nothing in the playoffs, he don't get no blame. You know what they do for him? The next year they say, let's get him more help.
Yeah. So you with us. The pressure's on Dak.
Man, no. What I'm saying is,
you with us.
No, Dak don't get
to it.
Because the reason why is because I'm gonna watch Chase this year. They play bad. I'm gonna watch Chase go up there. He's gonna show these freaking plays of why he needs more help. I'm gonna watch you say he needs more help.
No, you're not.
Not anymore.
You're done.
I'm done. You got 2 number 1 wideouts.
I just see my whole take was this is his last year to
But they
prove
should
it.
have been done with it.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Well,
Unfortunately, we're
come
done
on.
with this conversation.
Oh,
hey, when we return, Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers are a win away from a trip to the NBA Finals. After 30-15, no turnovers, is Tyrese officially a superstar? The most explosive conversation of the day. The next conversation.
This episode is brought to you by Principles. Are there limits to the U.S. government's debt growth? What will happen if the debts are not curtailed? What should policymakers or investors do? Those are urgent questions that legendary investor and New York Times bestselling author Ray Dalio addresses in his new book, How Countries Go Broke: The Big Cycle. The book comes out in June and is available for pre-order today, wherever books are sold.
Tyrese Haliburton made history last night with this triple-double performance. It's the first time in NBA playoff history where a player had at least 30 points, 15 assists, 10 boards, and no turnovers. None. Tyrese Haliburton quickly, at minimum, ascending into being a superstar. But Shady, is he officially with this playoff run in the game last night, is he officially a superstar? I don't think so long now.
Yeah, because I take the superstar word like serious.
Fair.
Sometimes we see players we talk about, I'm like, oh, he's good, but like superstar, I think he's becoming to a star. I don't know about a superstar. And he has time. He's young. He's getting there, right? I just think when I think of superstars, I'm thinking of guys like, can I show my list real quick? Because maybe some of my words might not help you out, but the visual can show you. I think Ant-Man is a superstar. All the stuff, the reasons why Rachel talked about it, and you can see it. I think Tatum, I think he's a superstar. He's a champion, all NBA's first teams, you could talk about it. LeBron James, I won't even waste my time talking about the king. Giannis, there was a point in time we thought Giannis was about to take over the throne. That's how good he is. And then Steph Curry, oh my God. He makes everybody in the world believe they can be a superstar, from the mailman to your old uncle that can't shoot no layups, can't shoot no jumpers, right? I look at Kevin Durant, you know who he is, the God himself. Giannis, or Jokic, I mean, he's got, back-to-back MVPs and et cetera. SGA, you see what he's doing in the playoffs. And then Luka, I mean, come on. Freaking a million people in Dallas was trying to go after the GM because you know what he did wrong. And then Brunson. Now, Brunson to me was a tricky one because we didn't expect this from Brunson. But when you go to New York City, the Mecca, the Big Apple, and the Garden, and you establish yourself as a superstar there, you're going to be a superstar globally. And he don't even talk that much. But his game and where he plays, that helps out so much. So when you talk about superstars, because you put Haliburton in this list, who would you knock off?
I probably wouldn't knock anybody off.
That's right.
I think here's the dilemma with Haliburton is this. I would add him.
You add him to that
list. Here's why.
But before you add, I just want to tell you something though, right?
Talk to me.
So when you look at the top tier players in this game, he's one of them.
Yep.
When you talk about the superstar, that's the elite of that. So college, everybody plays that game, right? And then the elite players from college, they'll go to the pros.
Yep.
All right? And then everybody's solid in the pros. Then you got the good players out of the pros, they are starters.
Yeah.
And then from the starters, you got the really, really good players. Like, we talk about, the Kawhis, the Hardens right now. And then you got the elite superstars. And my thing is, I can't put him in that, because superstars, like, that's the elite level. That's all I wanted to tell you,
The
brother.
dilemma is, though, Haliburton, if we're being honest, he has superstar game without a superstar name. And that's what I think about it. Haliburton, he's a gold medalist. Checks that box off. Haliburton in these playoffs is playing as good, if not better, than any other player in the National Basketball Association. Also, Haliburton got 2 All-NBA teams. Same amount of All-NBA teams as Anthony Edwards. Haliburton has been to the conference finals 2 consecutive years. Same amount of times Anthony Edwards has been to the conference finals. Haliburton looks like on the brink of the NBA finals, but Anthony Edwards hasn't been to the NBA finals. The reason I'm drawing that comparison is because if you want to suggest that Ant is a superstar, just based off game, not based off name, not based off charisma, not based off smile, not based off commercials. If you're strictly going off of game, I would have to suggest that Haliburton is indeed a superstar. I know for a fact he's got superstar game. Superstar name, we can debate that. I would suggest that's in part because of Indiana. If Haliburton played for the Knicks, if Haliburton played for the Lakers, then Brunson, he probably off that list and Haliburton is on it. When I think about superstar, I'll end it like this, Rachel, is who do I get giddy to see play in an important game? Like when I think about like football, if Pat's playing in a Super Bowl or a conference championship game, I'm like, I can't wait to see what Pat about to do. Back when Brady was playing, I can't wait to see what Brady about to do. Shady playing, I can't wait to see what Shady about to do. If we're being honest, we got to start to feel like that about Haliburton. Well, like, I can't wait to see what Haliburton's about to do because every time it is a must-win or got-to-have-it game, Haliburton goes crazy.
I do agree if he was in New York. A lot of people, I mean, you do those last-minute heroics all the time in New York City. That's a whole different story. Yeah. But I do think Shady's right about, what are we talking about, right? So if we talk about the whole world, he is absolutely a superstar. FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, they estimate about 460 million people play basketball regularly today, as of right now. He is in the top 20, as far as I'm concerned, of all humans who play basketball on Earth. That is 0.0004% of humans on Earth who play basketball. Tyrese Haliburton is in that level. That is damn high.
That's great.
However, when you're talking about a superstar within just the sphere, the planet of the NBA, my list is shorter than yours. Yours is 10 deep, mine's 5 deep.
Talk to us.
I think when we talk about elite superstars, you're talking about the top 5 people on Earth. And I would not put him in that category. Right. There's conversations now around the edges of the NBA right now. Would you put him in the top 10 at the moment, the way he's playing? No one's putting him in the top 5 right now. So I just think we have to sort of think about what is a superstar versus what is an absolute star. Tyrese Haliburton didn't even make the All-Star game this year. Yeah. He had a rough start to the season. Yeah. He said that he was feeling a lot of pressure after the Olympics. He is a gold medalist, but he didn't play a minute. He did not play a minute. In fact, he had a very funny tweet, and this is one of the things I love about Ty. He's got a great sense of humor. He said, you know, he had a picture of himself with the gold medal, and he said, when you get an A on the group project, but you didn't do anything. You know, I mean, that is, he had a lot of pressure going into this season. He didn't like the way he was playing. When it hit the All-Star break, he did a few things. He took a break away from the game. He started talking to the Pacers mental health team, which I really applaud him for talking about out loud and sort of how to work through some of those issues, and got to the point he is right now. But you have to remember, he didn't even make the All-Star game. So before we start putting him in the top 5 players, I would say take a step back. Let's see how he does. Does he win a ring? It still means he is an exceptional basketball player. Again, top 0.004% of the entire world.
Superstar, I played with some superstars, man, and you got to deliver every single night consistently at a very, very high level. And I don't necessarily view a superstar as really what you accomplished with your team. You don't. Like, we can sit here and say been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and all that. Like, do you consider Brock Purdy a superstar?
No.
You know what I'm saying? But he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to an NFC Championship. He's been to all that because he's been around a good team and he's been the point guard of that team. A superstar, man, to me, that's the Steph Currys, man. That's the Kevin Durant's. That's the LeBron James. That's the Jokers. That's those type dudes. I am not ready to put him in those conversations. Really good player, all-star player. I know he didn't make it this year, but he's an all-star player. But I cannot put him in the superstar conversation. Acho, if I was going to tell you, man, this dude right here is a superstar. He averaged 19 points and 9 assists. Who that? You say a superstar 19, you a superstar, you 25? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So with Haliburton, listen, man, you are a really good player, but to put you in that superstar conversation, I think of those dudes, man.
But is that though, Rachel, a shame on us? The reason I say that is because, like, I feel like Tyrese Haliburton is Steve Nash in an era of wannabe Kobe Bryants. I feel like that's how I feel. And not Kobe Bryants, wannabe Kobe Bryants. An era of wannabe assassins on the basketball court. An era of wannabe killers on the basketball court. An era of wannabe take the last shot on the basketball court. You're not necessarily doing it like Kobe did it, because ain't nobody winning 5 chips like Kobe was winning 5 chips. But I feel like Tyrese Haliburton is a dude that's going to average 15 and 11. That's going to average 18 and 11 en route to his team going deep into the playoffs, now obviously potentially going to a championship. But it's hard for us to wrap our brain in this AAU era of basketball where players need to average 29 points. It's hard for us to wrap our brain around a dude who's only averaging 18 and 9 as a superstar, though I don't know if that's fair to Haliburton.
No, I think you're totally right. It's not just about scoring. And anyone who's just only looking at scoring totals, they're missing the point of the game. So you are 100% right there. But it is about consistency, doing it over time. You're excited to watch Patrick Mahomes play in a conference finals game because he's been there and you know what he can do in those situations. Right. You've seen him pull it out in the Super Bowl when he's down. So I think it's one of those things where Tyrese Haliburton has 1,000% been delivering superstar performances in these playoffs. That game last night was a superstar performance, full stop, no doubt. That is what he delivered. However, you got to put in the work time after time after time, year after year, to be a superstar overall. And that's what he's trying to build toward. But we only have, I think we have fewer than you do. You think we have 10? I think we have 5.
So he's a point guard. I'm just thinking like today, right? Because we talk about superstars, and you can go by, like, I don't know, different positions, superstars and all different positions. But, like, if you had to pick, if you could pick the point guards, right?
Steph, Shea.
Who would you take him over? Because, like, off the rip, before we even think about the point guards in the league and go through all the teams, I'm already going to say Steph first. He ain't touching Steph.
Shea.
SGA, I mean, y'all watch him. Okay, then it's other guys like
I'm probably going Haliburton.
Hold on.
Brunson's there.
Before we get to Brunson, Luka. You taking him before Luka?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
Luka at point, but I feel what you're saying.
What is he? What is he?
He's so flexible position.
Man, he's a point guard. He plays point guard. Is it not? He plays point. The ball's in his hands. Like
ball's in his hands.
Okay. All right. Plus the offense up. That's the point guard to me. Okay. And then Brunson. He playing better than Brunson this series. How you want to cut it? But I think most people would take Brunson ahead of him. Who else you got in there? Ja Morant. Even though I know he got a lot going on.
No, now you got too far.
Well, just hear me out.
I'm sorry.
But today you say that, right? But before he started trying to shoot people and all that other stuff he had going on, and the grenades, before all that was going on.
Is that right?
Yes, he missed a lot of games because of that. Before he did all that, before he got paid, we was all screaming like, yo, this Ja Morant dude, oh my God. We haven't seen anybody like this since Westbrook. Think about what I'm saying, though. Before he started doing all that type of stuff off the court, we was looking at Ja like, yo, he might be the next something special.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So I'm just saying, like, if you had to pick these players, right? Because let's say you would take Haliburton now. It's still going to be hard for me to take him over Ja Morant at Ja's best.
But here's the crazy part.
At they best?
But the question, though, is why?
Ja,
because when I think about Haliburton is about to lead his team as far, if not further, than any person you mentioned on that list, literally. Like outside of Steph Curry, because Steph Curry. Luka to an NBA Finals. Haliburton about to lead his team to an NBA Finals. Ja never got to the Finals.
Nope.
Brunson ain't got to the Finals.
Kyrie Irving, I forgot about him. Was people taking him over Kyrie Irving, though?
But this is where the conversation gets interesting, though. And Rachel, you have seen the shift, and I've heard different NBA players talk about it. You've seen the shift of Tyrese Haliburton, to me, is a much more traditional point guard, as opposed to the shift that's happened. Kyrie Irving, to me, is not a traditional point guard. Kyrie Irving is going to give you 26 points a game and give you 4.5 assists a game. Haliburton is much more of the traditional John Stockton, Steve Nash, but that point guard got phased out of the league in 2008. Rondo might have been the last true traditional mega point guard. So it's just so hard for me to compare Haliburton to Kyrie.
But what I'm saying, that's cool if you want to take that lane, because that's a lot of stuff, right? And you're not wrong, because it's changed a little bit. Yeah. But that don't matter. That don't matter. Like, it is what it is.
Haliburton is a better point guard than Jalen Brunson. He is a better distributor of the basketball and making everybody around him better. That's how
you say it. But as they got the same position. And one dude was second team all NBA this year, Brunson?
I don't know if, Haliburton was third.
And somebody was third. I don't know who was third. You guess whoever was third. I know Brunson was second. I know.
But now the all NBA teams there's no position.
Okay, let's get to this real point. I want to make this.
So that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. When you talk about who you take and all that, right? All I'm saying is that when I throw out there Kyrie Irving, and you have a poll, a lot of people will say, even though Haliburton's doing all that, I want to take Kyrie Irving as my point guard over Haliburton.
Agree, but I believe that's because of the laziness of he scores more. I want the guy.
I think he's better.
It's player. Like, are we watching the player? Like, these all NBA teams is not by position, correct? It's by the player, right? And your third team, player-wise. You know, you get what I'm saying? So we're talking superstar, and you're third team player-wise, and you not even. We can argue if you're the fourth or fifth best point guard, because that's what we're arguing.
What I'm getting to.
You know what I'm saying? Are you the fourth or fifth best point guard? So to say superstar, we can argue that. I don't know.
Last thought, very quickly.
Well, I was going to say, you know what's going to matter to Tyrese Haliburton? That he's hopefully going to be, hopefully, not for me, hopefully, that matter to Tyrese Haliburton, that he will hopefully be punching a ticket to the NBA Finals. Yeah. He doesn't care if we call him a superstar. He does not care at all. What he cares about is he going to play for a title. And he is giving superstar quality. And that's what we should care about.
Hey, what we all care about is Caleb Williams. Just be good. You ain't got to be a superstar just yet. But you have superstar talent in you. At least we all thought so after college. What does Caleb Williams need to do as OTAs are starting? You see if the helmet's on, the jersey's on. What's he need to do in the second season?
I say hopefully the Knicks fans are going to go after him.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss. Oof, like wind in your hair carefree. Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree. Yes! Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree. He's on a roll now. Spit toothpaste on the faucet. You got it. You got it. Peanut butter on the light switch. Oh, spritz, spritz. Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back. Use as directed.
Hey, the Bears are back in their OTAs today. So what does that mean for Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams, one of the best college players the world has ever seen. But he had one of the most underwhelming rookie seasons, especially considering the expectations. Well, now he has a new coach, has a new offensive line, has a new wide receiving core, has a new offensive coordinator. And he says he wants to improve his body language and his pre-snap procedure.
I like that. I like that
a lot, actually.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yes, sir. Hey, quarterback, what do you think Caleb Williams needs to improve on in year two?
Improve on body language and pre-snap for sure is one thing. But
what does he need to prove?
Well, and that's what I said. I think he needs to prove that he's the franchise guy. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? Like, it's clear to me that he's the franchise because they drafted him. They did all this stuff. They're not going to move on if he has some bad year after year two. But I think that showing improvement each and every week is important. And like those things, like body language, like the pre-snap routine, like how you interact with teammates, how you interact with coaches. Everything you do matters because you're the most scrutinized position in all of sports. It's the quarterback. You get way too much credit when things go right, and you're probably going to get way too much blame when stuff goes wrong. And that's okay. That's the position. But stuff like this, leaning your head back, like it's all part of the learning process. He went through a lot of stuff last year. A lot of different coaches, a lot of different things. I get that. I just think he needs to show improvement each and every week. And really, if you think about it, all the moves, every single move that Ryan Poles, the GM for the Chicago Bears, made this offseason, it was for Caleb Williams. You go out, you get a guru offensive guy as your head coach in Ben Johnson. We've seen what Ben Johnson's offenses can do in Detroit. They're top 3 or 4 the last 3 or 4 years, okay? You go out, you sign 3 offensive linemen who are studs. Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney, Drew Dalman. Like secure the inside interior of that offensive line. Then you draft Luther Burden on top of that to go with Rome Odunze and to go with DJ Moore. And then, your first pick this year, it's a tight end. It's another weapon for you with Cole Kmet, which you already have a really good tight end. So they're building it the right way. The pressure falls on Caleb, but he's got to go in and prove to me like he's the franchise guy.
Yeah, I agree, man. Right now we say Jaden Daniels, we say Bo Nix. A lot of people even say Drake May, and then Caleb Williams. Hey, switch that up. It should not be that. Show the world that you're a franchise quarterback. Let us see that guy from USC consistently. You have no more excuses when you talk about your weapons and you talk about your coach. Now it's on you to get in the film room and study and do your job and come out there and play at a high level to let this franchise know. Start saving your money because I'm going to be the next one up to get paid because I'm going to be that dude. But get out of the 4th best quarterback in your draft conversations because right now they have those 3 in front of you when you hear everybody on the national TV talk. Get out of that conversation, ball out, and show your talent.
You know, he got not even a lot. He got one thing to prove. that the hype is really real.
Okay.
You know, I'll give you a quick story. When I was in high school, man, I was a wild kid. I was wild. And
surprise.
We would play.
What? Gasps.
I'm shady.
A good wild, though, not a bad
That's
wild. You wasn't in
crazy.
trouble like that. Good
See
wild.
what I'm saying?
You see how they trying to judge you?
I get it.
Who was they?
They trying to judge you. They say you're a bad kid.
No, they do.
He didn't say that.
But when we played different, so our team was all hyped up. We was like number 6 in the country, right? We had a lot of All-Americans on my team. And I was one of the All-Americans. And we played teams, right? And when the team would walk in there, I would say a message to them. All that hype y'all heard about, yeah, you're gonna see today is real, right? When I see a lot of these players that are hyped up, I remember I went to go see Zion, right? His first, they had the summer leagues. So I go to Vegas, right? I'm on the court, you know, on the floor, you know, hands, feet on the floor, iced out, all looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? I see him watching. And I'm like, yo, the hype is real. Everything I heard, he's taking the ball. I say he's gonna easily average 20 points a game because his hype is so real. Now he had injuries and all that in the league. But when I first seen him, I was like, yo, prove the hype. Caleb, I need to see the hype. The biggest jump is from year 1 to year 2. And when you're a great player, I don't care what the scheme is. I don't care what the coaching is. The coaching and the scheme make you better. They make you better.
Yeah.
But when you're a great player, we should see some flashes of it. Because that's what great players do. I need to make sure that the number 1 player overall, the guy I seen in college, I thought was the best quarterback I've ever seen in college football, is that. I need to see that.
Yeah.
Right? And if I don't, then don't be worried because everything that they need you to do, everything they want you to do, they've helped you to do it. From linemen to wide receivers to running backs, everything you need, they're giving you. So, and it takes time as a rookie. I just need to see it this year.
But what happens if it doesn't lead to wins? Are you good with that as long as he shows that? Because, like, I'm more of a wins, but are you just, need to see it consistently?
Well, I think wins is a team thing, right? The quarterback helps out, but it's a team thing. I'm sure if you put him on the Eagles or the Niners back in the day, that he might have more wins than he has losses, right? But I need to see some. You're the number 1 player
consistent
in the country. You're the number 1 player in college. You're the number 1 player in the draft. Show me something. Yeah. Because I've been patient with him. I've been patient.
Incredibly well said. Hey, right now there are five legit Super Bowl contenders. So says Vegas. Now, Chase, I want to know what are the biggest keys to success for the 5 favorites right now. What are the keys? What are some of the holes? Break it down for us, please.
Thank you. Knock down both the football, man.
My bad, dog.
Fumble!
The Super Bowl odds, they are out. The Eagles are the top team likely to win the Super Bowl, followed by the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and interestingly, despite their losses, the Lions. Chase up there at the big board because he's going to go through the top 5 teams most likely to win the Super Bowl. Maybe your favorite team, maybe your biggest arch rival, and tell us the biggest concerns with the teams. Talk to us, Chase.
I like it. Look, this was not easy at all because there's a lot of these teams that don't really have holes. So I had to think, and we're going to get this started right now by starting with the Eagles, the champs. Plus 650. Especially them, very difficult to find a hole. If I had to pick one, which I did because I'm doing this segment, it's going to be the loss of the key defensive starters for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. How are they going to handle that? They lost defensive end Josh Sweat to Arizona. Brandon Graham retired. Milton Williams had a huge deal in New England. Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Those are huge names on the defensive side of the ball. We know what they're going to be offensively. Even though you lost Kellen Moore, can Jalen Hurts continue to ball at a high level when it's needed? Their defense really played well down the stretch. I'm going to be interested to see how they answer the bell because everyone is going to be gunning with them. Let's move to the Buffalo Bills. For me, this is another one, right? Their defense played so well. Josh Allen, first MVP. Their offensive weapons, I think, for me, is going to be a little bit of a concern. Not necessarily what they can do, but can they live up to the hype on what happened last year? They did it. James Cook, 18 total touchdowns last season. How do the new receivers fit in? They added Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore. Can Buffalo continue offensively to build upon their success? They're not going to sneak up on anyone this year offensively. They're going to game plan each and every week. They're going to know how to stop them. Can Josh Allen overcome that? Let's move to probably my favorite team, who I think has a chance to really break through. It's the Baltimore Ravens. It all starts, begins, and ends with one man, and that man is Lamar Jackson. Can Lamar Jackson continue to play consistently amazing football? Last year was Lamar's best season as a Baltimore Raven. I truly believe that. Can Lamar replicate that success and finally reverse the narrative in the playoffs? His career playoff record, we're going to talk about it like crazy. It's 3-5. He's been playing unbelievable. I think the defense will continue where they left off. Can this Ravens offense continue to soar. You know, we got to go to the Chiefs. It's my team. The biggest issue with the Chiefs, and we say all these different issues, and Mahomes has been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, it's the offensive line. Remember that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl where that offensive line was absolutely torn to shreds? We saw it last year in the Super Bowl. Look, Mahomes was sacked 36 times last year. He got hit an astounding 108 times. Protecting Mahomes, to me, was their biggest issue last year. They really struggled at left tackle. They signed Jalen Moore from San Francisco, and they drafted Josh Simmons in the first round. That's going to be the key to success for them. And then the last one, the Detroit Lions. This one's easy for me. You are really good offensively. You got the ball on defense. Can you replace both coordinators, both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson? They took head coaching jobs. That's my biggest issue is how does new offensive coordinator John Morton, how does he handle the success of Jared Goff and all those weapons they have offensively? And the new defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, he's been there. They're going to call games differently. What's the transition period like? All these teams have a lot of success in front of them. And it was really difficult for me to decide what was good, what was bad, what were their concerns. All these teams are great, but all of them have concerns at the next level.
Incredibly, incredibly, incredibly well done. Whoever handles their concerns and answers Chase's questions best, likely the team on the brink to get it all the way done. Hey, when we return, the Timberwolves, they have some questions that need to be answered. Like, where in the world is Julius Randle? Where in the world is Anthony Edwards scoring? Can Anthony Edwards keep that team alive tonight? Do we trust him? It's an elimination game. Biggest game of Ant-Man's career. Let's talk about it next. A must-win game tonight for the Timberwolves. Ant-Man down 3-1. Not getting a lot of help, though, from Julius Randle, his partner in crime. But tonight, Ant-Man, it's all on you. Just 16 points in the last game. Just 18 points in game one. Sandwiched by 2 30-point performances. So I want to start with you, Rachel. Very quickly, do you trust Anthony Edwards to keep the T-Wolves alive tonight?
I got to get my parlay right, so let me know, Rachel.
I trust him to go out swinging.
Okay, that matters.
Right? And
that
by the way,
matters.
I think you will see him be more aggressive tonight.
We
He
hope.
didn't shoot as much, especially in the first half last time. I think that you will see him move more off ball. I think you will see him get to it quicker. I think that Oklahoma City environment is going to be such a tough place to play tonight, and I trust SGA probably a little bit more in this situation. But boy, I do trust Anthony Edwards to try to put his imprint, because what we saw at the end of last year's Western Conference Finals was he sort of faded away. Remember the last couple games kind of faded away. I don't think that's going to happen
Let me stay here for a moment because we don't necessarily have enough time for everybody to answer. So, Rachel, I'm going to grill you a little bit.
Get it.
Ant-Man, you just saying that he's going to try tonight matters.
I didn't say he's going to try. He's going to try differently.
Not only does it matter,
He's going to try differently.
and also saying it's over.
Well, it matters because last game, 13 shots. You got to shoot more.
So
Game
Anthony,
one, like 13 shots.
Yeah.
You got to shoot more. So the fact that you're saying he's going to go out swinging, to me, that matters because game two, 27 attempts. I think game three, 20-some-odd attempts. That is no small thing what you just said.
No, you've got to learn to play against a defense that is A, elite, and B, is going to try to make anyone but you score. That is how the Thunder are playing him. Anyone but you.
Yep.
And the great, great, great players figure out a way around that. He is still 23 years old. He is figuring that out, and we are watching a lot of it in real time, and I expect him to figure out a little bit more tonight. I don't think it will be enough to put him into the NBA Finals, but I'm watching him.
Do you expect, because what did you make of, sorry, y'all, just spending the last 30 seconds here. What do you make of, remember after the game when he said, I made all the right basketball plays?
Yeah.
Do you expect that type of, I think, cop-out answer after this game?
First of all, he wasn't wrong. However, you need more at this level. This is the Final Four, baby. You are trying to get to the NBA Finals. So, yes, he made all the right basketball decisions. And still, if you are the leader of the team, you have to be more aggressive. You have to move off ball more. You have to catch and shoot more. You have to do all of those little things that he will learn as he goes forward.
Real quick, Rich, I want to ask you this. So I feel like a lot of players, like his status, like a score like that, his God-gifted abilities and et cetera, they find ways to score different ways. And I think some of that has to do with the coaching, right? I was listening to something like Gary Payton was talking about with MJ and Kobe where the triangle offense. So all that double team, I could see a lot more of what's going on. Do you think that maybe the coaching might be an issue because bringing the ball up, they and pick and rolls, they are trapping you, they're going at you, they shoot. Do you think maybe the coaching can help him out?
I think that Finch is a great coach.
Okay.
Look, I think the fact that SGA played so well because he had Jalen Williams playing so well next to him.
Yes, he did.
You said Julius Randle didn't have a great game.
Oh, he didn't.
Julius Randle has to have a much better game
Yes, he
for
does.
Anthony Edwards. I don't think it's the coaching. Look, we talked about all the guys who were going to be stars earlier in this show. LeBron James needed Dwayne Wade to win a title, right? Kevin Durant needed Steph Curry to win a title. There are many, many guys who can't be their greatest selves without playing next to someone who is.
So Julius, she's basically saying,
No,
take the Timbs off and put the Nikes on and play some basketball.
Before they play the music over me, though, so you know my kids are in the AAU circuit,
Yeah.
right? So it's certain teams that you just see walk on the court. And I bring my kid over, hey, just play hard today.
That's what you're telling Anthony.
It's
Play hard, young man.
I'm looking at him, they're like, yeah, that's the number 2 team here. I see it. Hey, come,
Okay.
hey, just
play hard.
battle, dog. It's a wrap.
Hey, both teams play hard today.
That's funny, though.
Hey, we played hard today. I'll take that much. Hey, we return. It's time for a Blitz meeting. Should Kirk Cousins demand a trade? That and so much more. Hey, just play hard today.
Hey, be real. Is that real though? Like,
Bro, it's real. Hey, you see them boys walk on the court, and you look
Play
at
hard.
your team, and you know your team.
Just play hard.
It's time for a Blitz meeting. Falcons started OTAs yesterday, but Kirk Cousins was a no-show. That's surprising for Kirk Cousins. The Falcons said earlier this offseason they're comfortable with Cousins as the backup, the most expensive backup in NFL history to Michael Penix Jr. Shady, should Kirk Cousins demand a trade?
Woosah. You keep bringing up this Kirk Cousins question. Why, bro? Who wants to trade for him? Huh? Give him a clipboard and tell him to behave himself. Get your money, get a clipboard, an iPad, and help us out. No plan. We don't have no plan.
He got to go. Kirk, I got to demand a trade.
Where? Who wants him?
The Steelers could use him.
No. And that's my answer. No, because who is he going to go to? Oh, just Aaron Rodgers? No. Cleveland? No.
Listen. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Once you've seen Derek Carr hang him up,
Oh, you like the Saints?
come on,
It takes two, James. It takes two.
It takes two
I
to
don't want
tangle,
him.
and the Saints need to tangle because they have nobody.
No, listen.
In division, you know it.
No. Give me your helmet. Give me my iPad. That's it.
And I was gonna do that until I said, who they got? Oh, yeah. Hey, give me my helmet back. I'm going into this game.
And it's in the dome. Oh,
Hey,
boy.
moving on. Jake Daniels, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. About as great a rookie campaign as possible. NFC Championship game, he went all the way there. But
be
based
unanimous.
on last season, like,
Should be unanimous.
is the sophomore slump inevitable?
Should be
Bro,
unanimous.
I don't know, but you strong as hell, James. I'm gonna say no. We talking about Jay Daniels. You know how good he is. You know the work he puts in. He a different type of player. I don't see him. I actually see him getting better. Oh, yeah, like I don't know about the
Yeah, where you going?
but him, stats, the way he gonna play, he gonna be better. He a bad man.
It's near impossible to improve off of last season. Yes, it's inevitable.
How about as a player?
As a player.
Everybody ain't going
yeah.
to the NFC Championship.
I'm saying no because they got Debo, they got Larry Tunsil. The offense is better. Second year. Now, I agree, they have 20 games of film on them.
Right.
But
Name some.
I still think you can get better.
But
And just because you don't have a better year than last
the
year
thing.
doesn't mean it's a slump.
But you can
still have an amazing year.
You can get better, but not have the same season. And that I don't know that he'll have the same
No,
season.
that's cool.
You know, I thought,
He nice. I don't know how you wanna cut it.
Of course,
you know,
he's nice.
I thought Meg being here would knock some sense into me. Usually when she's around, you know, you do the right things, but
We knew
you
you were gonna
crazy
answer
right
yes
here,
when you asked the
man.
question.
You messed the sweep up, man. Jaden Daniels gonna ball out this year.
Sure, I trust and hope so. Hey, the Timberwolves and the Knicks both facing 3-1 deficits in the conference finals.
Sweep.
Shady, who has a better chance coming back from 3-1 hole? This is easy.
This week.
I'm going with the Knicks.
Knicks. Easy.
You said it like you had confidence in the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves are atrocious.
They still do it.
What we're seeing from the Timberwolves is atrocious.
T-Wolf season over tonight.
Oh,
Here's my question. I don't even know. This is the last one.
Right.
Do the Timberwolves lose by less than 10 tonight?
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Really? 10?
Well,
Think
yeah.
it's a close game?
Y'all been saying the same thing I've been saying? Y'all saying the same thing I've been saying?
Do they lose by less than 10? Meaning I'm saying
Like 8, 9.
They gonna lose by like 22.
That's what I'm thinking. That's
Blowout.
I heard it. They better.